YouTube, what's going on, man? It's your boy Rebuke All Devils coming back at you live in the flesh, live from the studio, man. And let me tell you, yellow belly President Donald Trump punked out. That's right. Iran punked Donald Trump. Donald Trump threatened Iran that they had 48 hours. And they had 48 hours to open up the Strait of Hormuz, or he was gonna demolish their power plants, right? This is what Trump threatened. And this is what Iran told him. Now, you can see this in my video from last night. This is what Iran told Donald Trump, and we're gonna see what Donald Trump posted this morning. Check this out. Fair use. This is from my video last night. How come white Jesus isn't stopping the bombs? I tell you why. Because white Jesus don't exist. And the Most High is punishing those people that say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Revelations 2 and 9 and Revelations 3 and 9. This is why Donald Trump punked out. They see that they cannot contain Iran, and Iran is not scared of them. And Iran is inflicting damage on them. And they know it. That's why they begging other nations to help. And that's why you had Bibi, not a Jew, on there crying for help, talking about, look at what Iran done. Look at what Iran done. You see, this is what he was talking about. He was complaining about this. Look at what Iran done. Well, guess what? Iran wouldn't have done that if you in America would not have attacked them first. See? You thought you were just going to be able to attack them and go on as business as usual, and you found out that that wasn't the case. Now, this is what made Donald Trump punk out. Let's roll that clip. Fair use. Say, after Donald Trump sent the tweet out saying that if they didn't open up the Strait of Hormuz, he was going to blow up their infrastructure. And here's their response right here. Fair use.
God, the most gracious, in the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful. O you who believe, when you encounter those who disbelieve, see them weak and do not turn your backs to them in flight. The terrorist president of America has, in continuation of his aggressive and global destabilizing behavior, threatened that if Iran does not open the Strait of Hormuz, he will target Iranian power plants. We have repeatedly stated that the Strait of Hormuz is only closed to the enemy and those making unprofitable trips, and it has not yet been fully closed and is under our intelligent control. Harmless passage under specific regulations is ensured with our security and interests in mind. However, if America's threats regarding Iranian power plants are implemented, retaliatory measures will be taken immediately. 1. The Strait of Hormuz will be completely closed, and it will not be reopened until our destroyed power plants are rebuilt. 2. All power plants, energy infrastructure, and information technology of the Zionist regime will be widely targeted. 3. All similar companies in the region that have American shareholders will be completely destroyed. 4. Power plants in regional countries that host American bases will be legitimate targets. Everything is ready for a major jihad with the aim of completely destroying all American economic interests in the Middle East region. We were not the initiators of the war, and we will not be now. But if the enemy inflicts damage on our power plants, we will do anything to defend our country and the interests of our nation. And the relentless destruction of the aforementioned targets will begin. And nothing can prevent the continuation of our operations to destroy the energy, oil, and industrial infrastructure of America and its allies in the region. And there is no power except that of the Almighty, the Wise.
Right. And so, after Trump got that wake-up call from the Iranians, guess what yellow belly Trump decided to do? Early this morning, before the markets could open up, because he knew that Iran was going to destroy everything in their interest, and he punked out. Look at this shit.
Breaking news
Fair
from the
use.
United States. The President, Donald Trump, has... Now we can bring you some important breaking news from the United States. The President, Donald Trump, has just posted on his Truth Social something that could turn out to be very important. We're going to read it in full. It's just come through. Let's read it together. I am pleased to report that the United States of America and the country of Iran have had over the last 2 days very good and productive conversations regarding a complete and total resolution of our hostilities in the Middle East. Based on the tenor and tone of these in-depth, detailed, and constructive conversations, which will continue throughout the week, I have instructed the Department of War to postpone any and all military strikes against Iranian power plants and energy infrastructure for a 5-day period, subject to the success of the ongoing meetings and discussions. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. So this is a lengthy message. We're going to keep this up on the screen for a moment longer. There's a lot here to unpack. Now remember, we're only hours away, or were, just up until this moment, only hours away from the end of a 48-hour deadline that Donald Trump had imposed on Iran. That deadline was very specific and very simple. Donald Trump had told Iran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz within 48 hours of me sending of the very minute when Donald Trump had sent his last Truth Social message, reopen it within 48 hours, or the US would bomb Iran's power plants, which could have been a major escalation in this conflict. And Iran had already responded by saying no, by saying that it wasn't going to abide by this deadline, it wasn't going to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, and if its power plants were bombed, Iran would respond by bombing power plants in Israel and in Gulf countries across the region. So we were looking at a possible serious escalation between the US and Iran. And now we have this message from the US president saying he is halting this for 5 days. That's one takeaway from this message. The other very important takeaway from this message is the first part of it. Reread this. The United States of America and the country of Iran have had over the last 2 days very good and productive conversations regarding a complete and total resolution of our hostilities in the Middle East. So Donald Trump is telling us that there are talks, which is a marked departure from what has been the case, at least what was known publicly up until this moment. Donald Trump has said several times Iran wants to talk, but I don't want to talk to them. Iran had denied that they were talking to the United States. Now the US president, writing in all caps, there are conversations actually happening. They are in depth, and they are going well, and they could lead to an offering. All of this happening right now in a message posted by the President of the United States to his social media just moments ago.
And now you understand exactly why Donald Trump did that. Because Iran punked Donald Trump. And Donald Trump knew better than to try to carry out that paper tiger threat. So as you can see before the whole world, America is no longer a superpower. The country that they supposed to have destroyed their Navy, their Air Force, knocked off their leaders and everything, told Trump, I dare you. We will destroy everything in your interest. And guess what Donald Trump did early this morning? He punked out. He punked out. He punked out. Let's read it one more time. I am pleased to report that the United States of America and the country of Iran have had over the last 2 days very good and productive conversations regarding a complete and total resolution of our hostilities in the Middle East. They haven't had no conversations. They knew Iran was going to light their ass up. And you know what they did? They backed down from Iran in front of the whole world. See, that's how good the real, true God of Israel is. Esau don't have the sword no more. And they are officially up under judgment. And Iran made the great Satan bow down. Imagine that. What happened, Trump? I thought they had 48 hours. But you come up with this lie because you know better than to attack their infrastructure, because they done proved to you their capabilities and you know they would do it. Now, Trump, you have pie all over your face and you would never make America great again, because America was never great. You only got rich off of the slavery of the Israelites, and now it's time for you to pay. And with that, I say shalom. Damn devils.